This is the incredible West Bank of the Palestinian territories. Jesus fasted in a cave up there for 40 days and 40 nights. That is Jericho. That is the country of Jordan. And out there is the Dead Sea.
ترجع مشان بترجع من مر سابا حركة 2 كيلو، بعدين فينا بتنزل على وادي النار وبتمشي على
طيب سيدي،
حياك الله يا سيدي.
الله معك.
Hey guys, I am back in the West Bank and look at that. Very dark smoke fire. Can't quite tell what it is, but I can see it very clearly coming up out of the ground or something. Apparently it isn't an explosion, a bombing, anything like that. So I have a taxi today. The driver is taking me from Jerusalem to the Dead Sea, lowest point on Earth. We are making some stops along the way. I wanted to do this, swim in the Dead Sea for the first time in my life. Before moving on, tomorrow I have a flight to Cyprus, to Larnaca, back to the southern part of Cyprus. So this is going to be a very, very interesting day tour. Okay, let's get going. What did the guy say about the monastery?
Here, Mar Saba, 7 kilometers.
Ah, okay, great. So this is the Mar Saba Monastery, a Greek Orthodox monastery first established in the 5th century AD, one of the oldest continuously inhabited monasteries in the world, and set in an absolutely unreal location. Look at this. So these steps go all the way down to the river, it looks like, which I would absolutely love to do. I don't know that we really have that much time. I'm going to walk around the other side and see if that's a better area to hike around and see more of the buildings and everything. So there's my taxi driver, Adam. Yeah, I think it's better to hike over there. So apparently it is closed today. Closed on Wednesdays and Fridays. Today is Friday, and so that is why the big crowd of people on the street there coming from the mosque. So I guess that I won't be able to go inside, but we'll just see what we can see. Just seeing these views is absolutely just like a time warp back to the 5th century, the early days of Christianity. And so it is a very strict Orthodox monastery. So it looks like that might be the entrance inside the monastery, and you can see absolutely beautiful church. But we can get a good look at it from here. I hear people, haven't seen a single person yet. Wow, imagine living here. They must be pretty isolated, just stay here. There's nothing else around nearby. Man, oh man, that is a unbelievable structure and absolutely mind-boggling location. My God, it is absolutely exceeding expectations. I'd seen the photos. Look out there, more structures on the side of the mountain there. Let's hike as far as we reasonably can without keeping my taxi driver waiting too long. But let's like kind of cruise, get a little distance here. Oh my God, this place is just unreal. And then, despite being in the intense, dry, hot desert, you have the creek there, a nice flowing creek, even in summer. So I'm trying to figure out to what extent we're looking at human carved out caves. Probably similar to Cappadocia, Turkey. Okay, we have a room. We can go inside. All right. Hello. So, as I was just saying, similar to Cappadocia, hard to tell exactly if that is fully carved out or a natural cave, but then built around it. Hard to tell what that is exactly, if it's a little living space or a storage space or animal space or what. But man, if there's any way that I can get over to that building, or at least get a closer look at it, looks like we can, then let's go for it. Wow, it is such a more vast complex. It's like it must have been a town basically at one point, more than just a monastery. I guess maybe people living, I mean, all these paths, you know, must have been monks living in the caves. So as I was saying, similar to Cappadocia, Turkey, where there are the whole cave complexes built into the cliffs, dozens, maybe even hundreds of different cave rooms. And so it would have been a whole thriving town of cave-dwelling people. Now, whether that's necessarily the case here, I can't quite tell, but you can see lots of caves, and I'm sure many of them were carved out and lived in. Here, more holes in the walls. Big room. Not a very pleasant place to live. Maybe that was also a more of an animal storage space or something, but there was soot on the ceiling. Okay, we might be able to actually get in that room, up onto that building there. Let's go for it. Ooh, I just saw an animal. There it is. What in the world is that? It's like a big old ground squirrel type of a thing, but like bigger than a ground squirrel. Okay, we have another structure there just hanging on the cliff. Luckily, it is cooler, or at least less hot than it was when I was here a few weeks ago. It's still very warm, but less just like overwhelmingly hot. Although it's going to get hotter as we go down in elevation to the lowest point on Earth at the Dead Sea. But nice little breeze. Wow, just tons of walls, various structures. Oh, look at that. Unbelievable. And so what building is this? Quite large. Maybe another church? Let's try to get inside it. Look at that. Just monumental. I just love this setting. It is so peaceful. And then hearing the creek flowing is so reassuring. There's water. It isn't lifeless desert. Green down in the canyon. Okay, here we go. Getting right up to it. And looks like it's locked. Little tiny door. Very, very locked. Locked and locked. Double locked. Oh well. Probably a church, I guess. Let's just poke around the corner. Lots and lots of caves. Okay, I think it's clear what's gonna be further that way. More of the same. Let's turn it around, head on back. And continue the journey to the Dead Sea and Jericho. I'm going back, speaking of caves, to see the caves that I didn't see the last time. Let's look inside this one. Whoa. There is a skeleton of some sort. Looks like maybe a dog. I wonder if a dog like got trapped inside there and couldn't get out or something. One of the most incredible places I've been in the world, which almost nobody knows about, even people coming to Palestine, to the West Bank. It's not a popular stop. All right, let's get back to Adam and keep cruising. So Adam speaks Arabic. I'm guessing he must be an Arab Israeli. He said that he was born in Jerusalem, but then he was speaking Arabic, as you saw there, with people along the road just trying to get directions to come here. Hello. Oh man. Intense uphill hike. Amazing, yes. I went to this over here, I think it's a church. I went to this. It's
Monastery Arcadius.
I see. Arcadius, okay. Part of the complex.
Krustava. I see Krustava.
Krustava.
Krust.
Okay. I see.
كيف
Yeah.
طب عليك غاد منستري غاد منستري طب كيف في حدا ساكن
جوا؟ نظر منستري السنافون في قباله روح.
في حدا ساكن جوا؟
لا بس بيروحوا كل تاريخ اللي مات بروحوا
Did you take a picture for there?
Yeah.
All
I got pictures along, yeah.
My friend,
All the way.
you have jeep safari. You go another side, you see panorama.
Oh, I see. Yeah. It's okay. I think we get going.
You go mountain
طب
jeep.
كيف بروح على موسى؟ بدي اروح على البحر الميت، بقدر اروح من هون على البحر الميت؟
Next time, I think we have limited time because we're going Jericho, Dead Sea next. So
Yes, okay. You go this way. Nabi Musa, go with me, mountain, you see panorama, very nice.
oh, thank you.
20 يعني 15 minutes you go Nabi Musa. تجي ما عند نبي موسى.
Next time.
Yeah, I think
No time for.
I think we're ready to go. Yeah.
But
Thank you.
now he take some.
I got many
Some
pictures.
idea about this monastery.
Yeah.
They make celebration here, this area, this monastery.
Okay, like a Christian
Christian
festival or
Orthodox.
something, huh?
Yes.
I see. That would be amazing to see.
At 16 of November.
Of
every
November,
year,
okay.
16 of December.
Of December, okay. There's the source of the fire. It's going down. Almost gone.
camel.
Yep. Hello, Mr. Camel. So I'm back in Jericho, going to take the cable car, which I took before. I'm sure that a few of you will remember that I went all the way up there and there were some caves that I wanted to see that I forgot to stop and see. I didn't realize that I could. So, Jericho, the lowest place on Earth, 1,300 feet below sea level, 10,000 years old, blessed peace from the oldest city. 8,000 BC, the oldest city of the world. Tel Es Sultan, old Jericho, the ancient Canaanite city of Raha of the 3rd and 2nd millennium BC, defended by impressive city walls and ramparts. These human settlements, which started in the Natufian period around 9,000 BC, so 11,000 years ago, giving birth to an extraordinary Neolithic community. The site witnessed the creation of agriculture and animal husbandry, the birth of architecture with earliest mud bricks, and of religion with cult of ancestors. For all these reasons, the site known as the oldest city of the world. So there are the cable cars. So, the actual city site is right there. I walked around there before. It isn't really that impressive. I mean, understandably, it is so old. So it is quite crumbling. We will get a view of it from the cable car, but I'm not going to go inside this time. Let's take a ride up the mountain, go see some caves. And here we go. So you really get about as good of a view as you can get of the Jericho ruins here, just from the cable car. As you can see, it is mostly just kind of mounds of dirt and some rock walls. But there you go, that is the oldest city in the world right there. Perhaps debatable. There are certainly others that claim, and depends on your criteria, but there are cities that are the oldest continuously inhabited cities, which is different. Like I think that Damascus might claim that title because people still actually live there, although people do, of course, live here in Jericho, but not on the same site. But anyways, clearly the beginnings of organized human civilization there. And so I didn't really explain exactly, for people who don't understand the geography of the area here, then I started today in Jerusalem, of course, the holy city there, disputed, claimed by both Israelis and Palestinians, but mostly Jerusalem is within the Israeli state country of Israel. And then just east of Jerusalem, then the West Bank begins. That is where we are now, and the West Bank is a combination of primarily Palestinian areas, but then Jewish Israeli settlements within it. And so we saw some of those Israeli settlements on the drive, and then we drove through Palestinian towns. So Jericho here is a Palestinian city, and so you can see it stretching out, a good-sized city, and right there is the country of Jordan. Those hills right there. And then Dead Sea right there where we're going next. So you're looking at a lot of history from right here. So the monastery hanging on the cliff there, I visited the last time a couple of weeks ago. That is believed to be the spot where Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. There is an incredible cave that I showed the last time. This narrow little tunnel and this tiny little cave, you know, big enough for a person to stay there and meditate or whatever. really interesting. But apparently the monastery is closed today. I wasn't really planning on going into it again anyways. I want to go hike around there at the base of the cliff there and see those caves, which I thought that I couldn't see the last time and then realized that I could as I was coming down the cable car. Nazareth, Bethlehem, Jerusalem, Holy Land, birthplace of Jesus, where Jesus lived. Okay, let's find out if these caves were really worth coming back for. I think it should be a nice hike either way.
Everything especially in Holy Week, yeah, but be honest, every day.
So that is where you go up to the monastery, but as you can see, closed today. It is Friday, the Muslim holy day, but also the monastery earlier was closed. Wednesdays and Fridays may be the same, because this also is a Greek Orthodox monastery. And so when I was here before, I walked up that, and that is where the cave is, where Jesus is believed to have fasted. Who knows if that is true, but I hadn't seen this path right here. And I had wanted to get a closer look at these caves. Look at this. I thought that you would have to access them from like down there, but didn't realize this path going right along here. Wow, this is already well worth it just for the views to get a closer look. I mean, look at that massive one up there. So perhaps similar to the Mar Saba Monastery at the beginning there, monastery and then the caves around it, that monks could have been living here, because we have structures, not just caves. Look at this. Oh man. What will we be able to see? I'm seeing, unfortunately, oh, that is a shame, but that looks like a door in the way. That is going to make it a short visit. At least we can get inside one cave by the looks of it and just get a better view. But what a shame to not be able to get up there. Look at that cross on the door right there. This is really incredible. But alas, I'm sure that door is locked and you'd have to be a professional rock climber to get around it. Okay, stairs going down into it. So proof that this was, to some extent, lived in by birds and humans. Look at that. So what language is that there? I believe that's Hebrew or Arabic or Greek. Maybe I'm wrong and it's one of those. It looks very much like a Bedouin type of language. Interesting symbol there. All of them are very unusual looking. This is all the same, it seems. I mean, that is not Arabic. It's not Greek. think that's Hebrew. Oh. No point in even trying this one. What happens if you knock? No expectations. Well, that is basically it for the cable car hiking experience. Now I know a little bit better, at least, what there is here. Perhaps that could be open on the same days that the monastery is open. Maybe so. Or perhaps you can get one of the monks to let you in or something. But you get the idea. You know, the path continues and then pretty much looks like it would end there. Overhang, rock wall, and then it gets very treacherous. Fascinating. Like a rope going all the way up there. Okay. And now, time to head to the Dead Sea. Go take a swim, take a float.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, too bad. The site of Jesus and John the Baptist, I guess?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Many places closed on Friday, now we know. So here is one of the more spectacular and better preserved of the ancient historical sites around Jericho. But it is a totally different phase from the old walled city that we saw from the cable car. So this is an 8th century AD Arabic Islamic palace, Hisham's palace, whereas the ancient city, 9000 BC, 11,000 years old, this around 1300 years old. And so the Arabs invaded this region shortly after the death of Muhammad in the 7th century. And so that is essentially the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in a nutshell. Is the Israeli people were here, although they had been pushed out by other civilizations prior to some extent anyways, but that is when the Arabs arrived, and so of course the Palestinians now in the West Bank and Gaza and in Jerusalem, etc., are descendants of the Arabs who arrived around that time. And so they have been here for a long time as well. Look at that incredible and unusual design. What does it represent? Okay, let's see here. Inside the palace, the Umayyad period around 730 to 749 AD. The central courtyard is paved with limestone slabs and surrounded by 4 arcaded galleries. Rooms for guests, servants, and storage were arranged around the sides. Some rooms had mosaic paving and wall paintings. There was a small prayer room on the hall's south side. The star window was built from sandstone. The intricately engraved geometric form is intertwined in a knot-like pattern. It came from an upper wall or window and was visible from both sides, letting in streams of light. The star is similar to rosette patterns found in Islamic art and may have inspired rose windows in medieval European cathedrals. It is now a famous symbol of Jericho. And so you can imagine if it was inside the palace and yet letting light in, that would be quite a spectacular image, depending on the time of day, etc. So this is the inside of the palace. Okay, what do we have down here? The cold bath, or sirdab, Umayyad period around 730 to 749 AD. Bathing was an important social activity for the caliph and his guests. Follow the staircase down to the vaulted entrance of the cold bath. Inside, a mosaic pavement covers the bath's floor. There are benches, a shower of water poured from the wall above, giving delightful cool relief from the Jericho climate. Amazing. And a beautiful colored mosaic pattern floor. And here as well. The mosque. Prayer was an important part of life at Hisham's palace, indicated by the mosque's central position between the palace and audience hall. Under the patronage and presence of His Excellency President Mahmoud Abbas, President of the State of Palestine, the opening of the project of protective shelter and presentation of the mosaic in Hisham's palace, with the kind support of the Japanese government. The audience hall and bath. It had a swimming pool, and the bath consisted of a reception room, warm rooms, hot rooms, latrine, audience hall. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, man. This is absolutely incredible. The central circular medallion, the greatest and most complex colored mosaic medallion, a mesmerizing swirling basket pattern. There, in the middle. So this is Kalia Beach. And got my shorts on. Here we go. Experience of a lifetime, swimming in the very salty Dead Sea, right there. So, you missed some drama. I will explain as I walk down here. So after doing the cable car, then we drove to the baptism site, which unfortunately was closed. So that was where apparently Jesus and John the Baptist did the first baptism experience in the Jordan River. But it was closed there, and then I had been looking on my phone for other places to see around Jericho other than the ruins that weren't very amazing. And I had found that Hisham's palace, but we'd already left the area of Jericho. It was right next to the cable car area, or a couple of miles away, and we'd driven like 15 minutes or so out of the way. But after we couldn't get into the baptism site, then I mentioned it to my driver. I was thinking maybe we could go after the Dead Sea or something. And he said, oh, let's go do that first. It was only, 15 minutes back. So we went back there, did that. And then we went back the same route and got stuck in an Israeli military police checkpoint, which was at a spot that we had driven right past before, and there had been nothing there. In the 30 minutes that I was at the Hishram's palace, then they had set up this blockade, and it was moving slow. It wasn't all that far. It was probably from here to the water, that distance where we got stopped, of cars backed up, and then the Israeli police military guys there checking people. But it took us 40 minutes to get through that checkpoint. And so we just barely arrived here in time to do this because they close at 6 o'clock. So had a little experience of the reality of, the Israeli police controlling things and kind of pissing people off. Like, people were honking their horns and getting out of their cars and stuff because it was just taking so long. Like, the line didn't seem to be moving at all. But we made it. So here we go. It is hotter down here, about 101 degrees Fahrenheit. That is like 37 Celsius at almost 6 p.m. So a dip in the water is going to be nice. I guess it's not going to be all that cold. Let's find out. People covered in mud. And here we go, first step in the Dead Sea. I am very curious how cold or warm it's going to be. Let's find out here. It is warm. It's like lukewarm. It is not cool and refreshing. It will still be nice to wash off the sweat from the day of exploring. So there's tons of rocks, so it's a little tricky getting into. And by the way, this camera is not waterproof, or it might be, but some of you might remember I took my DJI underwater in Greece and killed it dead in less than a second. It's supposed to be waterproof, but anyway, not taking chances. Nothing to see under there anyways. Okay, it's no longer rocky. It's kind of, I don't know, sandy, dirty, whatever. Maybe that's the mud that people are rubbing on them. Definitely not the prettiest, clearest waters. So far, just kind of seems like normal sea. I guess it is in the floating that you experience the difference. So let's do it. Whoa. Whoa. That is totally different. You seriously, like, are almost just sitting on top of the water. That is bizarre. It's like I'm in Jello or something. What? Like, it doesn't look that different from normal seawater, and then you get on it. It's like, you could not drown here. It's like you're wearing a life jacket. Man, I did not expect it to be quite so unusual. I mean, I knew that it was, but it's like the equivalent of, you know, being in space or something where gravity is not acting as it seems like it should be. I can feel the saltiness in my hair. Like you can turn over. It seriously feels like some sort of magical force, like magnetism is in effect or something. I mean, no effort at having to stay afloat. Doesn't matter, you know, if you have a lung full of air or whatever. Air out. Oh man. This is definitely an experience. Okay, how deep are we? Oh, I floated out to where it's too deep to touch. Can't really see the bottom. So weird. All right, well, this was worth coming back for. This was one of the main reasons why I came back to it. Oh shit. Whoa. I just got a drop in my eye. Holy crap. I wasn't even thinking about, like, that I shouldn't do that. Damn, that hurts like crazy. Whoa. Seems like there would be like some signs about that or something. Maybe there were. Maybe I should have read the disclaimers. Anyways, gonna survive, but that is like super harsh. And what can you do to wash it out when you're just wet with more of the salty water? So anyways, the good and the bad of the Dead Sea experience there. I have a sarong towel that I will grab and dry out my eyeball. Okay, that was awesome though. So here are the safety instructions, which I'm not sure if I just walked past or maybe came down a different way. Anyways, it is dangerous to drink Dead Sea water. Floating on your stomach is forbidden. Diving in the water is forbidden. Do not put your head under the water. Do not splash water on yourself or others. Entering the Dead Sea can be dangerous for people with high blood pressure. Children permitted only with an adult. Drink fresh water frequently. Enter in a sitting position, then lie down on your back. Never cross the safety floats. Not advisable to walk barefoot as the sand is hot in the summer. Avoid walking. Floating is safer. So it actually doesn't say anything about don't get the water in your eyes. I guess that is the reasoning behind don't put your head under the water. But anyways, now you know. Now I know. Survived the Dead Sea experience. Back to Jerusalem we go. So I'm back in Jerusalem. This is not my hotel. I was just walking past and saw all the lights. But I will show you my hotel. And I wanted to give a little taste of what it is like on Shabbat here in Israel, which starts Friday sundown. So that is my hotel right there, Heleni, with the yellow lights there, the short little building. And this is the Sergei Palace, very Russian name and Russian at the top, and then English Hebrew. There is a Russian Orthodox church right over there. So listen, right down here is what is normally a very crowded area. The main street that I showed in my previous video of Jerusalem, but also just this little side street has a bunch of shops on it. I am on a quest for something to eat, even if it is just a piece of pizza to take back to my room or whatever, but I remember the difficult quest of finding food when I was in Jerusalem previously during Shabbat. It gets very quiet and everything closed. All of these shops were open every other evening. These restaurants have tables that are very busy. Okay, this supermarket might be open. If so, I'm going to make use of it. And they were open. Just got some cheese and crackers. Not super hungry, so that will be better than nothing. There could be maybe like a shawarma place open or something, not sure, but few people around, but everything closed, no music playing on the street. Just thought that I would pop down to the old town and give one final view of the incredible old city walls. So that pub is the only other place that I have seen open. Maybe it's like a British pub or something. Even the supermarkets are all closed. So here we go. I love JLM, Jerusalem, and the old city walls. I made 2 other videos of Jerusalem, one inside the old city here, and then another one exploring the more modern part of the city. Up until the 1800s, all of the city of Jerusalem was inside the old walls here. Built by the Ottomans, at least the walls here, much of the larger parts of the old city, but also many different phases, of course. It goes back literally thousands of years. So much history contained within those walls there. I will put my other videos on the screen at the end here of the old city and the newer part of Jerusalem here. So that concludes my 4 days in Israel this time. A short trip. On my way to a Mediterranean island tomorrow, flight to Cyprus. A very short flight, it's like 45 minutes. So that concludes an absolutely incredible day there. Really packed it in. Saw a lot, so much more to see the next time I come back to Israel and Palestine. Shalom.